Here comes Sims. Pedaling into the paint, leaning and hitting a 10-0 run to start this game for Indiana. And Minnesota wants a timeout. Caitlin Clark knows it.
What did Kelsey Mitchell really say in the locker room after Indiana's third straight win? That's the question buzzing around the WNBA right now, because her words weren't just about points, rebounds, or stats. They weren't about her breaking records or proving herself. They cut much deeper. They summed up the heart and soul of a Fever team that everyone thought was finished, but instead has become the story no one saw coming. The Fever entered this stretch with the deck stacked against them. Caitlin Clark, out. Sophie Cunningham, out. Sydney Colson, Chloe Beebe, and Ari McDonald, all sidelined.
One of the things that I've been impressed with these guys since even the offseason, really the ones that I was able to work out with in the offseason, is how hard they work. You know, there's a work ethic and there's a work style, and to approach everything in the same way, to be so energetic, enthusiastic, and dedicated every day. And I felt that way in training camp too. There weren't any days where I had to bring that out of them. So I think it's the nature of the women that we brought into this organization to continue to just bust their butts and play.
That's 5 rotation players gone. That's your star rookie, your spark plug veterans, your steady contributors wiped off the floor. Most teams in that situation fold. Most teams hit the panic button and chalk the season up to bad luck. And honestly, the Fever looked like they might. They had lost 4 of their last 5. Playoff hopes seemed to be unraveling. Fans were whispering that the promise of the season was about to dissolve into just another rebuild year. The questions weren't about if they could compete. They were about if they could even survive. And then something changed. Stephanie White, a coach who's been around this league long enough to know when a team is crumbling, pulled her players together with a simple phrase, "Be where your feet are." It doesn't sound flashy.
You're done with the MVP, okay? Bow, bow, bow! Hell yeah. You already know what it is. Dubs in the chat, you already know what it is. You already know what it is. Let's go to the playoffs with some momentum.
It doesn't sound like some miracle solution. But for this group, it became the mantra that shifted everything. Stop worrying about who's missing. Stop panicking about what's out of your control. Be where your feet are. Focus on the possession in front of you. Focus on who's actually on the court. And when Indiana bought in, everything flipped. They didn't just steady the ship, they rebuilt it mid-season. And they came into that Minnesota game like a completely different team. From the opening tip, you could feel it. 10-0. That's how the Fever opened against the Lynx.
A lot of people will talk about Nafisa not playing, but I think they're really good with or without her. You know, they're just a really great basketball team. So I think it was a big win for us because they set the bar high standard-wise. We know what to expect when it comes to Minnesota Lynx, and so I think going into the playoffs, it was big for us because being able to know guarding Courtney Williams, knowing that her thing is a pull-up, knowing that now instead of not knowing that, it's big for us because we give ourselves a chance. And if they are the standard, we get to see where we are.
10 unanswered points that stunned one of the league's most consistent teams. This wasn't a group limping into the matchup. This wasn't a team begging for sympathy because half their roster was in street clothes. This was a team coming to take something. The defense swarmed. The energy pulsed. The pace felt relentless. Instead of surviving, they were dictating the action. Loose balls, Indiana had them. Defensive rebounds, Indiana snatched them. The Lynx weren't facing a team clinging to life. They were facing a team that had decided, in the middle of chaos, to define itself by resilience. And the beauty of it all is that it wasn't one player. It was everyone.
I love y'all!
Aaliyah Boston became the anchor, not just by scoring, but by controlling the game like a point guard in a center's body. Every touch she got in the paint pulled Minnesota's defense toward her. Every rebound she grabbed told the Fever, "We're not backing down." When she demanded doubles, shooters had room to breathe. That's leadership in action, even when the box score doesn't capture the full weight of her impact. Then came Odyssey Sims, the veteran who looked like she had been waiting her whole career for this moment. Off the bench, she dropped 15 and told reporters afterwards, "New season starts Sunday." It wasn't just a line, it was a declaration. Indiana wasn't playing like a team limping to the finish, they were playing like a group reborn. Ariel Powers, Back-to-back daggers from deep that ripped the heart out of Minnesota's comeback attempt. The kind of shots that silence an arena and remind everyone that depth wins games. Lexie Hull, she became the defensive glue, switching across multiple positions, contesting shots, and still finding her moments to chip in on offense. Coaches live for players like her. Natasha Howard. Quietly holding the front court together, hitting shots in rhythm, grabbing tough rebounds, and making sure Boston didn't have to carry the weight alone. This was no longer a top-heavy team leaning on one or two stars. This was balance. This was 5 players in double figures. This was everyone stepping up. But through it all, one figure towered over the narrative: Kelsey Mitchell. For years, she's been known as a bucket getter, instant offense, a guard who can light you up for 30 when she's feeling it. But this season, she's gone from scorer to leader. She's putting up over 20 points per game, the first Fever player in history to do it. She's facing doubles, traps, defensive schemes designed to wear her down, and still she produces. But it's not just about scoring anymore. She's making reads. She's trusting teammates. She's dictating the pace of games in ways she never did before, and the Fever know it. They've launched an MVP campaign, pushing her highlights, her numbers, her dominance, because this isn't just one hot stretch. This is a player evolving into the face of a franchise. And yet, the most powerful thing Kelsey Mitchell didn't happen during the game. It happened after.
On how many times you get knocked down, it's how many times you get back up. And, these are things that you have to go through. I often say there's no substitute for experience, and the experience that these guys have had to have to continue to reinvent, to have to continue to find different ways to get back up and to play through some different struggles is not just paying us dividends this season, but as far as what it's doing for our culture, it's going to pay dividends for many years to come.
In that locker room, with her teammates crowded around, celebrating another improbable win, she looked at them and said 4 words: "You've seen our growth." That was it. Not a speech about her own records, not a boast about her scoring, not even a victory lap about proving the doubters wrong. Just 4 words that captured months of struggle, doubt, adaptation, and resilience. You've seen our growth. That's why her teammates are buzzing. That's why the moment stuck. Because it wasn't about her. It was about them. It was about a group written off by the league.
Kind of all the other things like offensive rebounding that she can do.
Knocked away. Boston comes up with a steal. Here is Mitchell veering through the paint and lays it in.
She's so quick, and especially when she gets out in the open floor, you'll see her coming down. The quick left to right crossover just gets by. I thought she was sprinting. I didn't think she was lumbering.
It was a lumber sprint.
Up for the big girl.
Mitchell like a blur. That's a
reshaping its identity right before our eyes. And when Caitlin Clark comes back, she's not returning to the same Fever team she left. She's coming back to a deeper, tougher, playoff-tested squad that now knows exactly who they are. Kelsey Mitchell breaking scoring records, Aaliyah Boston smashing glass and bending defenses, a bench that has discovered its rhythm, a locker room united under 4 words. This isn't just a team of the future, it's a team of right now. For the first time since 2015, the Fever have a winning record.
Everything that has happened so far this season between the injuries and bringing new people in and all of that, does that make the fact that you have the chance to do everything right to win that championship, does that make that a little more satisfying?
I think so. I think I'm careful to say satisfying as opposed to pleased, right? Like pleased with what we've been able to do, pleased with how we've been able to do it, never satisfied. And I think that's it's just a part of staying hungry to accomplish things that you've not accomplished as a group.
But they're not satisfied with that. Most franchises in this spot would already call the season a success. Win 3 straight without your stars, sneak into the playoffs, prove you belong. Not this one. They want more. They're treating this as the foundation for something bigger. And that's what makes Kelsey Mitchell's words so powerful. Because they're not about the past. They're about the future being built right now. This isn't just resilience. This is transformation. This isn't just a winning streak. This is a statement. You've seen their growth, and it's only the beginning.